In my list.
It's 6:02. I'm calling the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of April 20th, 2023 to order. Can we begin with a roll call? Yes, Mr. Chairman. Hector Garcia.
Present.
Rolando Casares.
Present.
Mike Baron. Manolo Rangel.
Present.
Johnny Narvaez.
Present.
Yushin Wang.
Here.
Regina Portillo.
Present.
Daniela Salapaz.
Here.
Ana Villarreal. For the record, Mr. Chairman, you do have form.
Thank you. I know Commissioner Barron did contact me that he is going to miss today's meeting. Did anybody else contact or ask to be excused?
No.
Okay. Can we have a motion to excuse those?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Let's go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome legal to our meeting.
Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Navarro, for the wonderful introduction.
That's all you're getting.
I appreciate it, brother.
Do you have any citizens' comments?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. Go ahead and open up the public hearing and recommendations of an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning Lot 2, Block 1, Troutman M and I subdivision located at 1303 International Boulevard from B1 Limited Business District to B3 Community Business District.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant has asked if we could table this item, time certain.
Okay. Can we have a motion?
Motion to table.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item E, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning Lot 1, Block 1749, Southview replat, Phase 2, located at 2901 Ireland Street from R1 Single Family Residential to R2 Multifamily Residential District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, the Vortex Properties owner. We have Nancy Martinez as the representative. We have property location, Lot 1, Block 1749, Southview replat, Phase 2, located at 2901 Ireland Street. We have a zone change request from an R1 to an R2. Proposed use is a duplex. Letter sent is 20, and we have none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning overview. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. If anybody would like to speak in favor of this item, you could do so by coming up to the podium. Anyone who would like to speak against this item? Okay. Any questions or what are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve this item.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to 5C, amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 4,115.56 square feet tract of land, being all that tract of land described in volume 5346, page 871, Webb County Official Public Records, Webb County, Texas, and being the east of 18.52 feet of Lot 4, Block 79, City of Laredo, Western Division, and the west 18.52 feet of Lot 5, Block 79, City of Laredo, Western Division, and being all of Lot 4B and 5A, Block 79, City of Laredo, Western Division, as per the original city map of Laredo, Texas, Western Division, located at 104 Zaragoza Street from R3 Mixed Residential District to R1B Single Family High Density District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicants Felipe Ramirez, owner, Victor J. Linares, PE, applicant representative. Property description, approximately 4,115.56 square feet. located at 104 Zaragoza Street. The zone change request is from an R3 to an R1B. Proposed use is residential, single-family dwelling. Letter sent 41, 4, 0 against 0. Location view. Aerial map. Street view. Zone change. Signage. Zoning overview. Future land use. Staff recommendation, staff supports the proposed zone change. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody who'd like to speak in favor of this item?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and PNC members. My name is Victor Ignatius with Savvy Engineering. I'm here representing the owner, and we're in favor of the zone change. I'm here for any questions. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the commission? This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to
Hearing
speak?
suggestions, messages, calendar.
I got a comment there.
Anybody who'd like to speak against this item? If you could state your name for the record, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Veronica Sanchez. I'm coming from my mother. Her name is Concepcion Sanchez. She's 9 years old, and I'm not sure if I understand it correctly. They want to change it to have 2 houses in that lot?
Duplex, right?
Yes, if the staff.
No, it's actually, it's one. It
It's
is
just one house?
one. Yes, single family house.
Okay, because that was my concern, because there would be no parking on that side of the street. It's very narrow, and all the residents have to park on one side. So it's just one house.
It's one house.
It's one house. And where would they park? Are they gonna have parking inside, or will it be on the street? Okay, so that's how it's gonna be zoned?
Yes,
Okay. then
it's
that's
part of the
okay.
zone.
As long as it's not more than one house.
Just one.
Just one house. It is just one. It is just the one.
It's not a duplex.
No.
If anything, I can present something to support. Victor Ignatius for the record, if I could have the projector. This is the design that the owner has for this lot. It's for single-family use. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, and we do have to meet city requirements when it comes to parking. And in this case, R1B does require 3 parking spaces. And so when it comes to the building permit, we should be complying with that restriction or condition, I should say.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for the clarification on that. Did that address your concerns?
Yes, but why do you want to change the zone? You couldn't do that before?
It's the size of the lot was smaller and, okay, so there's a little bit of history here, but, we just recently, adjusted our ordinance to where we allowed for a smaller lot for a home. And because before this was so small that it wouldn't, our ordinances wouldn't allow for anything to be built on this property. We since changed that so that they could put 1 home on there, and so that's what he's doing. This is part of one.
Thank you. This is a public, you're welcome. This is a public hearing. Anyone who would wish to speak against this item? Anybody else? If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 5D. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 15.32 acre tract of land being out of a called 19.833 acre tract of land described in volume 4573, page 469, Webb County Official Public Records, Webb County, Texas, all of Lot 1, Block 1, Weatherford Subdivision Phase 1, as shown in volume 24, page 48, Webb County Plat Records, and all of a 10-acre tract, tract 17, recorded in volume 3813, page 212, Webb County Official Public Records, Webb County, Texas, and of a called 4.84 acre tract, tract 18, recorded in volume 1107, page 880, Webb County Official Public Records, Webb County, Texas, and all of called 5.00 acres, recorded in volume 1142, page 71, Webb County Official Public Records, Webb County, Texas, and all of called being portion of Porcion 32, Abstract 296, Antonio Trevino, original grantee, Webb County, Texas, located south of State Highway 359 and east of Old Milwaukee Road from R1A, Single Family Reduced Area District, to M1 Light Manufacturing District.
Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is Nine Decker Transload Services LLC, owner, Francisco Ramos, PE, RPLS, applicant, and the representative. Property description, location approximately 15.32 acres, tract of land located south of State Highway 359 and east of Old Milwaukee Road. The zone change request is from an R1A to an M1, and the proposed use is industrial warehousing. Letter sent at 13-4-0 against 1. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning overview. Featured land use. Staff recommendation, staff supports the proposed zone change. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Apologize for the very long preamble that I wrote. I just like to go all the way to Sargon whenever I read the legal descriptions. For the record, Francisco Ramos, Ramos Engineering. We're here representing the owner. We're in favor of the zone change. If you guys have any questions, we'll be here to answer.
Mr. Chairman, I just
Yes.
have a question. Mr. Ramos, can you expand on the proposed use, what kind of warehouse this will be?
Yes. So right now, the landowner, they actually own Lot 1, Block 1 of Weatherford, of the Weatherford subdivision, which is just this guy up here. They're going in for a replat, and they want to replat so that way they can use the whole land and expand the business that they have there already. I think the purpose of the replat will be to have a warehouse in there with parking and warehouse.
Thank you.
So definitely a warehouse.
I believe that's the plan is.
Okay. What's the, excuse me, for the department, are there any requirements with the M1 abutting the R1A that is developed?
So, that's a good question. We were looking at this. The residential that's there right now, next door, that's I'm gonna call it the line, for lack of a better word. Then, everything after that, we're looking to go to EG Ranch, because that purple that you see on the top right, that's the Laredo landfill. So, up to EG Ranch, we're looking at, keeping that under the M1 and not putting residential right there. Well, I'm not saying keeping it M1, but we'll receive applications for, on that, but only up to that point because of the landfill on the other side.
Okay, but I'm saying on the back of the property where,
It has high-density residential, and then it has
Yeah.
low-density residential.
That's just
requirements
more
on
of
the
a land
land.
use issue. Like, we'd rather see some business around here, B1 or B2, B2.
But it's already developed homes here,
It is.
right? Is there anything requiring M1s to build a wall to,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yes, they'll have to do that as part of the code.
Any other questions for the? This is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor of this item? Anybody who wishes to speak against this item? If so, if not, what are the wishes of the commission?
I don't,
If there's no other
I was
questions.
having a trouble seeing, but the staff support,
Yes.
that was my question.
Motion to close and support recommendation.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 5E. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning Lot 1, Block 1, Las Flores subdivision, Phase 1, located at 102 Flora Boulevard from Me3 Community Business District to Me4 Highway Commercial District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is Tejas Sales International LTD, owner Gonzalo P. Farias, applicant Cornerstone Land Use Consulting LLC, Daniel Tejerina Jr. is the representative. Property, location description is Lot 1, Block 1, Las Flores subdivision, Phase 1, located at 102 Floral Boulevard. The zone change request is from a B3 to a B4. The proposed use is commercial. The applicant did not identify the specific proposed commercial use. Letter sent 3540 against 0. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning overview. Future land use. Staff recommendation, staff does not support the proposed zone change. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item?
Just realized that.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Danny Tejerina for the record. And I'm here to speak in favor of this item. I have a couple of talking points and some information I'd like to share with you all. Is it okay if I proceed?
Sure.
Thank you. I tried doing a presentation, but I can't get my laptop to work for some reason. But here's... So do I just lay it face down? Is that what it is?
There you go.
Oh, face up.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Never actually does. Okay. So, 3359, this is the property in question. It's currently zoned B3, and we're requesting B4. The property right across the street is zoned B4, okay? From the dimensional standpoint, I believe a B4 district requires 10,000 square feet. We have something like 86,000 square feet. It also requires about 100 feet in width. We have double that as well. From what I can tell, it meets most of the conditions, and of course it also has a frontage on 359, right? So the purpose of the B4 zone is for this type of property specifically. I did want to show you some other examples of some B4 zones on 359. This is one probably about half a mile west, and you have B4 abutting R1A. That's already done. I have about 6 or 7, but it's okay with you. This is right across the street from the arena. I believe that was the Canadian deal. B4, directly adjacent to R1 as well, or residential. This is a corner of Loop 20 and Shiloh. So at the time, I worked for the property owner, and I represented them on this zone case, and we had absolutely no issue getting B4 right next to R1. Here's a corner of Hillside and McPherson, where the Chick-fil-A is and all that stuff, B4 next to R1, same thing. And most recently, I did a zone change right on the loop. This is Alexander Estates, that's a fire station. I represented this owner as well, and we recently got that rezoned to B4 as well, and it's right up against Alexander Estates.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question.
Yes, go right ahead.
I'd like to know the proposed use
That's
of
what I was gonna make sure.
the application. I think it really depends on.
On what the use is.
Of course. So the owner, unfortunately, does not have a proposed use at this time. Bottom line is they're trying to get the highest and best commercial zoning district for their property, as I think anybody would. I mean, based on staff's recommendation with that M1 next to residential, it seems very, very unfair that they wouldn't support a B4 next to on R1, especially since they supported an M1 is surrounded by residential, which is very, very surprising. But, I mean, for all those reasons, I'm like, I was a little, that's the M1 that staff recommended approval on. And you can see there's R1B here, there's residential over here, it's abutting residential over here in the back. Now, M1 is way more intense than B4 is.
But it's not a bar, but it's not maquinitas, and we don't know what they're gonna put.
Absolutely, and you know, that's actually a great point. Now, to your point, there is a section of the code that says, I have it somewhere, give me a second. Under B4, Highway Commercial District, what is it, under section, subsection 8 and 16, nightclubs, bars, saloons, cantinas, bars cannot be located within 300 feet of a residential district. So technically, my client can do it, one. And then two, it's the same thing down here with maquinitas as well. We would fall within that 300-foot radius, so they can't do it by
By that.
Correct, and it's
I- Good.
Sorry, excuse me. Do you know what is across the street at Floral, and as also
That's what
what's
I've
a
been
block over, that's the B4?
There's a meat
Conrad.
market
Is it a meat market?
Meat market. Y'all see that's meat market, yeah.
and a liquor store.
But there's no residential on that side. The residential, there's no residential across the street, is there?
No.
Eastern. yeah.
So it's a B4 because there's no residential. On the opposite side, there is residential.
correct.
That's why I believe that one was granted, and that's why, my only thing is I'd like to know what's gonna be built there. That's the only thing that interests me.
I have a question for staff. I have a question for staff. The property does sit on highway frontage. Based on a B4, it's highway commercial district. So what's the issue or what's the situation there?
Exactly what we mentioned in our communication. The comprehensive plan, it's not in concurrence with the comprehensive plan's neighborhood mixed use designation for that area. We noticed that there were, you know, a good number of homes right there. The vagueness or the unspecific proposed use, we were concerned, you know, we have to take into consideration, of course, all the uses that would be allowed by the B4. So for all of those reasons cited, we were just, you know, thought that in this case, a B3 allows lighter commercial uses, some things that might be more of an amenity to the neighborhood, things that people can walk to, you know, stores, restaurants, convenience stores, things like that. So something, you know, lighter commercial uses that would serve that neighborhood.
Now, the comment that he did make about the clause as far as so many feet away from resident, wouldn't that sort of still protect the residents?
From bars? Well, it depends on the method of measurement. Typically, they measure from front door to front door, which, as you all know, is very easy to accommodate.
And a B4 can't be approved with
Conditional?
it can't, this and this before cannot be built there?
I'm not sure I understand.
I'm saying, can we give a recommendation to change the zone, but before, the stipulation that bars can't be built there, anything like that, they would have to come back and we could reverse.
It would have to be a conditional use permit for a specific use, but conditional zoning, typically that's not how those are worked.
Just, fellow commissioners, I am of the opinion to approve this so that the builder can go ahead and get started on getting plans ready and building out the lot.
They don't seem to have plans. Right.
This is well, first of all, it's public hearings have to do with the for and against, and also this, I mean, the commission only gives a recommendation, so an ultimate decision does come to city council, so basically our recommendation is however y'all see fit, but definitely, we can definitely go forward on however y'all want to make that motion, but this is a public hearing, so as long as we continue going with that motion.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other questions for the applicant?
Just
Yeah.
one more comment. You know, all we're asking for is for the city to be consistent and to be fair. It shouldn't matter whether you own 1,000 acres, 10,000 acres, or 2 acres. Everybody should be treated the same.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody else who would speak in favor of this item? Anybody who would like to speak against this item? If not, what is the wish of the commission?
I'd like to make a motion to close and support the B4.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
I'm gonna abstain, Commissioner, I'm gonna abstain.
So can I have a show of hands for the ayes?
Favor.
And then against?
Okay. I'm thinking something else. I'm sorry, I forgot. Against? No. 4.
4, okay, so then, and then we have abstain. So we have one abstention and, so,
Me quedé pensando.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Es que no pueden poner. O sea, dice
Moving on
que
to
no
item
puede poner.
5F. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning lot 1119, block 69, Signal Hill addition to Del Mar Hills, Unit 1, located at 101 Merlin Road from RS Residential Suburban District to B1 Limited Business District.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, we have applicant Mario Hasso as the owner. We have Victor J. Linares as applicant and representative. Property location, lot 1119, block 69, Signal Hill addition to Del Mar Hills, Unit 1, located at 101 Merlin Road. Zone change from an RS to B1, or RO. We have proposed use, office, realty and architecture company. We have letter sent 26, none for, none against. Location view. Aerial map. Street view. We have zone change signage. Zoning map. We have the future land use map. And the recommendation is staff does not support the proposed zone change for B1. However, in the interim, the applicant has amended the application from an RS to B1 zone change to an RS to RO zone change. So staff supports the proposed zone change for an RO.
No entendí.
So they
otra vez.
amended the application from a B1 to an RO.
RO.
So we don't support the
B1?
but we support the RO.
The RO.
Staff recommendation continue. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody who'd like to speak in favor of this item?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commission. My name is Victor Linares with Savvy Engineering. I'm here representing the owner, and we are in favor of the RO zone change. I'm here for any questions if necessary.
Are there any questions from Commission?
¿Sabemos qué va a hacer ahí o no?
I do.
Va a ser una oficina.
So it's going to be an office. How do they propose parking for this?
Yes. Victor Linares for the record. I do have with me a proposed layout. Marlin is pretty much where, it's on this end where my palm is at. Del Mar's on this end. There is a long driveway. One of the things about this lot, it is one of the larger lots in acreage. It's about close to 0.25 acres, more or less. And it does have access and parking when it comes to the driveway, which is existing right now. And the concept is to extend this portion and provide parking aligned along Del Mar. And the use for the applicant, it's a real estate agent. And just generally speaking out loud, the use might be limited when it comes to parking, but specifically it's for the real estate agency.
Where is okay, the property line's all the way to the back, right?
Correct. This, where my finger's at, it's the corner of the property. So you have this end on Merlin and this end on Del Mar.
Okay. and it goes all the way up to,
Correct, and
Yeah.
pretty much the neighboring lot, it's the commercial plaza, I forgot the name of the plaza, but it's the commercial plaza
Where-
where Arby's used to be at, or China Express currently is at.
Across the street of Tony.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Ya lo vi. And are they gonna throw it down or what?
No,
Because it's
if
a house.
anything, what the owner does want to do is they do want to convert pretty much the house into an office space. They do want to do an addition towards the east side, but the addition is not as extensive as to the original house. The structure itself it's actually a large home.
because it's proposed, there's 14 cars there.
Yes.
Aquí no van a caber. Ah, bueno, sí, mira. Está grande. You just-
And they're big lots there.
It's a huge lot, I know. I feel like that property already is already extended to its
Capacity.
boundary, but I guess not.
Mira, es que tiene muchos árboles.
I
Van a
mean,
It's
tumbar
just
los
a front
árboles. ¿o qué?
lawn for now, but that's where the whole.
I did have a question on, the measurements and everything, make sure it works. My main concern was that we wanted to keep the integrity of that house. We don't want to tear it down and put up a two-story building. That's why we recommended an RO instead of a B1. B1 would have given them the opportunity to
Throw it down.
knock it down, right? So this way they keep it, and, well, it's up to the engineer to measure properly to make sure it works, so.
And do you accept the RO? Are you
Yes,
accepting the RO?
We had a conversation, we had a friendly conversation on the concerns, and the owner's aware of the concerns, and the intent is pretty much to use it as an office space and recycle the home into that use, and he's comfortable with that zone change to an RO.
I'm happy to see that it was amended to an RO.
Mr. Chairman, I have
Yes,
a question.
sure.
For staff, what is the current zoning of the office spaces down on Del Mar, where Cafe Dolce is and?
Well, McPherson.
The RO, I think.
They're the RO.
They're RO as well? Oh,
Both
that's good.
RO.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for the applicant? Thank you, Mr. Mendoza.
Right, thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody else who would like to speak in favor of this item? Anybody who would like to speak against this item? If not, go to the wishes of the commission.
Tengo otra pregunta.
Yes.
Perdón. La salida y la entrada se queda igual, porque esta es donde está la escuela, ¿no? O sea, no más va a salir por Merlin. ¿Más va a tener salida por Merlin en tu plano?
If I may have the projector again. That's correct. Currently, the main entrance is going to be at Merlin. One of the concerns actually from planning also had to do with the egress on Del Mar. We are, the owners going to make communication pretty much with the neighboring lot where we can hopefully have a shared access to go through the business. So it can be as a secondary exit.
Eso es lo que quería pensar, porque pues debes de tener una entrada y una salida para tener circulación. Entonces, en el lote que sigue, ¿tienes el overview? En el lote que sigue se ve que aquí hay una salida, que ahí se hace un camote siempre para cuando quieres dar vuelta para acá, pero a lo mejor puedes hallar una forma para poder coligar.
And just in case on a different perspective, if we would apply for the permit, this is conceptual. I know when it comes for the right-of-way permit or the driveway permit, they won't allow us to exit from this point. There's currently an existing indention in there, but we won't be allowed to use it because it's really close to that driveway, the one we're speaking of. And so the goal is to get that easement on that side to serve as a secondary exit.
Aquí ves. Eso fue lo que me corrigió. ¿Sí? ¿Sí? Como en esta salida siempre hay problemas. Entonces,
There's no other questions or what's the action of the commission? Just proposed item.
I'll motion to approve.
second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 5G, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by authorizing the issuance of a special use permit for oil and or gas extractions well site on approximately 4.83 acres, meets and bounds, description situated in Santiago Sanchez, Porcion 12, abstract 278, in Webb County, Texas, located west of Beltway Parkway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have applicant EOG Resources, Inc. Property location is approximately 4.93 acres located west of Beltway Parkway. Zone change, we have a special use permit for oil and/or gas extractions, which is a well site. Proposed use, oil and/or gas extractions for a well site. We have letters sent for, and we have none for, none against. We have a background. So for the site status, on February 17, 2023, an inspection was conducted and revealed the following. EOG Resources, Inc. was drilling for natural gas inside the city limits without a special use permit. A stop work order was issued and a citation was issued for failure to acquire a special use permit for the oil and gas extraction and production is in violation of the City of Laredo Land Development Code Book, Section 24-73. We have the current site status. The EOG Resources, Inc. did not stop drilling and are still drilling. Location view. Aerial view. Site view, street view, sorry. Zone change signage. Zoning view. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody who'd like to speak in favor of this item?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Saunders, and I'm here speaking on behalf of EOG.
Can you speak into that speaker? Answer this one. I'm sorry.
This one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, so we'd just like to say thank you to everybody that's worked with us on this. I know it's kind of a new process. So I just hope we can get along and get through this, beneficially for everyone. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them or do the best that I can.
Any questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chris, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, did y'all, I guess maybe this is between you and legal, appear in court on March 8th?
No, we didn't. We have representation. We've been working with the city attorneys to kind of work through this. We did get a fine for 4 days of continued operations that we had to carry out for safety purposes, but we are not still drilling. We're done, and we've moved off the location.
Okay, that was the follow-up,
Yes.
and if there was a fine. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody who'd like to speak against this item? Not with the wish of the commission, if there's no other questions.
Motion to
Motion
close.
to approve.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to ask.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Commissioner.
I was going to ask a question to you, sir. Could you tell us a little bit about the timeline for this drill, like its life cycle, and if there's a plan to also close it out? I know that currently in the state there is a big issue with sort of abandoned wells throughout the state causing pollution to surrounding areas. So I wanted to know a little bit about that.
Okay, so basically our operations, as soon as we get the permit, we're gonna go in and complete the well. That'll take a couple of weeks, we'll be done. Then once that's done, pretty much all of our operations, major operations will be over. As far as abandoned wells, typically, when you have situations like that, it's from I hate to say it, but a lesser operator. EOG is respected throughout our industry, and we don't have abandoned wells and ghost wells and such things like that. We plan to be here for a while and contribute to everything around Laredo and Webb County, and we're gonna operate accordingly.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. What are the reasons for it?
Now, to close and introduce as recommended by staff.
You have a motion? Okay. In a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 5H. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning Lot 3, Block 355, Western Division, located at 1714 San Enrique Avenue from R3 Mixed Residential District to R1B Single Family High Density District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Applicant is Habitat for Humanity of Laredo, Inc., Incorporated. Owner is the applicant, and then Carol S. Sherwood is the representative. Property description, location is Lot 3, Block 355, Western Division, located at 1714 San Enrique Avenue. The zone change request is an R3 to an R1B. The proposed use is residential, a single-family dwelling. Letter sent 2840 against 0. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning overview. Future land use. Staff recommendation, staff supports the proposed zone change. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor of this item?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Carol Sherwood. I'm the Executive Director for Habitat for Humanity. And this is a process for us, and we're learning as we go. But we demolished 3 houses that were in extremely bad condition. We're in the process of building 1 house. It's an extremely large lot. And we plan to come back and request a replat so we can put another single-family affordable home in the neighborhood.
Thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Sherwood, I just want to say thank you for all that you do for our community.
I was going to say the same thing. Thank you very much for all the work that you've done through every year.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody wishes to speak against this item? If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
I move to close hearing and support staff recommendation.
I have a motion.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Portillo.
From everybody.
Commissioner Portillo, second.
And the pretty second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 5I. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 8.04 acres situated in Porcion 24, Toribio Rodriguez, original grantee, abstract 268, Webb County, Texas, said 8.0432 acres, more or less, being partially out of tract of land called to contain 200.688 acres conveyed to Chapco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5400, pages 824 to 829, official public records of Webb County, Texas, and partially out of a tract of land called to contain 15.29 acres conveyed to Chapco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5400, pages 836 to 841, official public records of Webb County, Texas, located south of Inspiration Parkway and east of Bob Bullock Loop from R1 Single Family Residential District to R2 Multifamily Residential District.
Mr. Chairman, if it's
Yes.
okay with you and the applicant, the next 4 items are zone changes.
Okay.
4. And we'd like to see if maybe we can open all of them together so that you guys can see the bigger picture, because it's kind of hard to just see one at a time. And then after, you can determine, I mean, you can vote each one individually, but this gives you a chance to talk about the whole scope in one shot.
The motion is to open up I, J, K, and L.
And M, right?
And M?
But not L. L is different.
Oh, so you're looking at 5I, 5J, 5K, and 5M, is that correct?
Is that correct?
I, J, K, L, M.
L and M, okay.
Yes, there's 5 zone cases.
Sorry, I said 4.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so the motion to open up those 5 items.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Do you have an overhead, I mean, something to put up
Yes.
there?
Do you read them all?
We You could read them to open them up.
Okay, so we'll read each one? Okay.
Yes, please.
All right, so amending we're going to 5J, amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 10.70 acres situated in Porcion 24, Toribio Rodriguez, original grantee, abstract 268, Webb County, Texas, said 10.7096 acres, more or less, being out of a tract of land called to contain 15.29 acres conveyed to Chatco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5400, pages 836 to 841. Official public records of Webb County, Texas, located south of Inspiration Parkway and east of Bob Bullock Loop from R1 Single Family Residential District to B4 Highway Commercial District. 5K, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 96.70 acres situated in Porcion 22, Maria de Jesus Sanchez, original grantee, abstract 277, Porcion 23, Leonardo Sanchez, original grantee, abstract 23, and Porcion 24, Toribio Rodriguez, original grantee, abstract 268, Webb County, Texas, said 96.7084 acres, more or less being partially out of tract K1, called to contain 43,878.5855 acres conveyed to Killam Ranch Properties Limited as recorded in volume 540, page 632. Official public records of Webb County, Texas, partially out of a tract of land called to contain 60.08 acres conveyed to Chatco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5403, pages 95 to 100. Official public records of Webb County, Texas, partially out of a tract of land called to contain 20.00 acres conveyed to Chatco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5400, pages 830 to 835. Official public records of Webb County, Texas, and partially out of a tract of land called to contain 200.68 acres conveyed to Chatco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5400, pages 825 to 829. Official public records of Webb County, Texas, located north of Inspiration Parkway and east of Bob Bullock Loop from R1 Single Family Residential District to B4 Highway Commercial District. 5L. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 13.00 acres situated in Porcion 22, Maria de Jesus Sanchez, original grantee, abstract 277, Webb County, Texas, said 13.0036 acres, more or less, partially out of a tract of land called to contain 60.08 acres conveyed to Chatco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5403, pages 95 to 100. Official public records of Webb County, Texas, and partially out of a tract of land called to contain 20.00 acres conveyed to Chatco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5400, pages 800 to 835. Official public records of Webb County, Texas, located south of Date Palm Drive and east of Bob Bullock Loop from R1 Single Family Residential District to R2 Multifamily Residential District. There's still one more. 5M. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 31.1235 acres situated in Porcion 23, Leonardo Sanchez, original grantee, abstract 283, and Porcion 24, Toribio Rodriguez, original grantee, abstract 268, Webb County, Texas, said 31.1235 acres, more or less, being out of a tract of land called to contain 200.68 acres conveyed to Chatco Land Sales Limited Liability Company as recorded in volume 5400, pages 824 to 829. Official public records of Webb County, Texas, located north of Inspiration Parkway and east of Bob Bullock Loop from R1 Single Family Residential District to B3 Community Business District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Okay, for the record, if I can get the podium.
Your name for the record.
Oh, yes. Laura Garza for the record. Okay. So just to show you an overview, this is the master plan for the coves at Woodfield. And the zone changes that are going to be presented are R1s to B4, R1 to R2, and R1 to B3. So if you notice here, this would be the first one. This is zone case 49. It's going from an R1 to an R2. This is zone case 50. It's going from an R1 to a B4. This whole pink one right here is zone case 51. It's going from an R1 to B4. Zone case 52 is right here, the green one. It's going from an R1 to an R2. And this last one, the blue one, is an R1 to a B3. Zone case 53. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Yes. So this is a public hearing. So are we gonna
open a public hearing for all of them and then.
Okay, so this is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor of these 5 items, please come forward.
And read all the ordinance again.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and the members of the commission. My name is Hugo Seca, I represent the owner, and we support all the 5 zone changes. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Seca? Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody who wishes to speak against this item? If not, what are the wishes of the commission?
I do have a statement. I think we saw the picture where we're changing the R1s to B4s, and I think that's the perfect example of what we were talking about earlier with changing the B3 to B4. It's, as you see, the development is abutting homes too, and there's no, the staff is in support of this. And I'm in support of it, but the issue was the prior where staff was not in support of B3 to B4, and it looks very similar to this. And it's just a comment I wanted to make.
And each item's taken case by case, so, yeah. So we don't, you know, we see it case by case, we see the surroundings, we go by that. And then I make my position. You know, everybody gets their input, and then I make my position, so.
Thank you.
If you can, make a motion for each one.
Each individual?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So it'd be 5 different motions.
So,
Everybody take one? Sorry.
Jose,
so the first item would be the 5I.
motion to approve.
Okay, so I have a motion. Can I have a second from Commissioner Portillo?
Quick question.
Yes.
In legal, can we,
Legal?
quick question, we can't make a motion to just close I, J, K all at one time? Do we have?
I would do it individually, it's just cleaner that way.
That's fine.
Record.
Okay.
We open them
So
like
we have
that, we should be able to close them like that.
Sorry about that, y'all.
So we have a motion and a second. So all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Now can I have action for item 5J?
Motion to close J
We're gonna
and
go order.
support staff,
Okay, so I have a
and then
motion.
you get the rest.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to 5K.
Okay, motion to approve item K.
Motion.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. 5L.
Motion to close and approve item L.
I'll second that.
Second.
You got a second.
Second.
Sorry.
Second.
Second from Commissioner, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 5M.
Motion to approve M and support.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Second from Commissioner. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to, now we're moving, review and consideration of a site plan for planned unit development, PUD overlay, item 7A.
Pero el B4.
Review and consideration of a site plan for the Escondido Twin Homes development located north of US Highway 59 and west of Escondido Drive, planned unit development PUD overlay zone for this area established by ordinance number 2021-0-111. The intent is residential twin homes.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For the record, the applicant is CBA Laredo Escon LP. The engineer of record is Oscar Castillo PE, Tewa Consulting. The proposed use is residential twin homes. The zoning for the 70 lot development is B3 PUD. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed site plan. Elevations and floor plans. The items for consideration. Comments from planning. Additional comments from planning and comments from fire. Proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commission members. For the record, Rudy Santillan from Pewa Consulting. We concur with all of staff comments. However, we'd like to request removal of comment number 3, which reads coordinate with traffic director for TIA for traffic impact analysis, just to see if we can, if possible, to move it to preliminary comments so that in one-stop shop, we can address anything that we need to regarding the TIA. But if we can remove it for today's site approval.
What's staff's take on that?
The item is in the ordinance, and it's actually not in the subdivision ordinance, it's in the land development code. I mean, so it is a requirement that's there.
So it's there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can leave it on there and.
Leave it on there, then
Yeah, that's
traffic will
fine.
determine
Yeah, because
based
you have
on
to
the
coordinate
argument.
with traffic anyway, regardless.
Right, okay. Well, we'll leave it on there, that's fine. So we concur with all.
Okay. Any questions from the commission for either staff or the engineer?
My computer's frozen, I'm trying to get to it, it's like.
Oh, there you go.
Mine was too. The internet is not working well.
Oh, you can't.
You should be on the internet.
Those drawings are a little slow to render. 'Cause they're-
that's
Yeah, they take a while to get
They'll
there.
take a while, they're a
Yeah,
little slow to render.
they're up now.
I want to see where exactly this sits on the current, in relation to the current development that exists. I know we've talked about the parking issues back there.
Yeah, the overhead view or something. Ahí. Eso no lo tenemos nosotros.
Right, because Commissioner, we've had problems prior to that development behind there, right?
Yeah.
Talking about parking and emergency vehicle being able to pass because there's so much parking on the street. So, okay, just wanted to see where this property is. This is going to be on the corner of Escondido and 59?
That is correct. There's another track right below it, which they're proposing to do commercial, but it's right behind it, right above it.
Initially, when they came in, the road called, is it Cannon?
Can I fix this up there?
Sure.
Okay, that'll be okay.
¿Llora?
They had not proposed a street, right? It was just gonna be one big long cul-de-sac. Since then, they've come back and they've changed it, they put in a road that will come out at 359. And then there'll be commercial facing 359, so this will be behind it, behind the commercial.
So we have a second exit?
And the
Atrás.
Yes.
The existing development is north of this park. So that's where the existing subdivision is.
But do you only have one exit?
It would be 2, yeah, so right here is Canyon Bluff, which
Ah,
connects
okay.
to US 59, and then right here, Vista Trail connects to the existing Escondido Drive.
Escondido
entrance. Mhm.
Y por 359, ¿de dónde entras?
South of this area.
Ah, ok.
No
Es
tengo-
más para
yeah,
abajo.
más para
Ah,
abajo.
ya ubiqué.
How many,
Units, 70.
70 units, so 35 structures? Because they're twin homes or?
They're twin homes, correct. Mhm. And they do have a one vehicle enclosed garage with 2 driveway parking spots, so a total of 3 off-street parking.
Thank you.
There's no other questions for staff or for the engineer. What are the wishes of the commission?
This is I move to,
No tiene ningún comment de UISD.
what's that, approve
Comments?
subject to the following comments.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. We're moving on to consideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Item 8A, preliminary consideration of the plat of Chaparral Village Unit 2, Lot 11, Block 10. The intent is commercial.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is Alarcon Properties, engineers Daniel Gomez Engineering. The proposed use is commercial, and the zoning for this one lot development is B3. Location view, aerial view, street view, the proposed plat, comments from planning, traffic safety, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, members. I'm Daniel Gomez, the project engineer for this proposed plat. And I concur on most of the comments. I do have one request. If there's a way we can reconsider one of the comments, which is number one, the right-of-way dedication. This property is being used as a restaurant business for about 30 years, more or less. Different names, but the use is being in use. And doing the dedication right now is probably going to be really difficult for the property owner to do it. So I was trying to request if it's the possibility to do it as a reserve instead of a dedication.
So what he's requesting is whenever you're doing a street and the city needs a space, whatever, the owner dedicates that land to the city so that they can put the street. In a situation like this, if the city doesn't have the money, or we don't see in the near future that we're gonna be doing it, might be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we'll ask for the reserve so that that land will be there for us. They can't build on it, they can use it for parking, they could put landscaping. But when and if the day comes that we get the money, the city's gonna build the street, not them. If we do it today as a dedication, they would build the street, but there's no real reason to do it because we haven't really bought Carlton Road to widen it, what have you. So if I knew that we had money or something like that, I would tend to say dedication all the way, but in this case, I don't know when we're gonna do it, so I'd just like to have the right-of-way reserved so that in the future, if we need it, it'll be there, but it'll be at the expense of the city to build the street, or the added street.
And you're asking for?
Reserve.
You're asking for reserve? So the city's okay with reserve, you're okay? Just wanna make sure we're on the same page, okay? Are there any questions from the commission for staff or engineer?
No.
If not, what's the proposed action on this item from the commission?
And then motion to accept the recommendations.
We need to change that.
With
Amending.
Number one?
Yeah, with number one.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion, and we have a motion to approve the comments amending planning comment number one to say reserve, and then we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
It was motion to amend with a reserve.
Correct. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Motion carries. Now moving on to consideration of the following final plats and final replats. If there's no objection from the commissioner or staff, can I have a motion to hear items 9A through 9G?
So move. Yes.
So moved.
I forgot on the. Back in the old days.
So we have a motion from.
Second.
And a second?
Second.
Commissioner Portillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Motion carries. Can I have a motion of action for items 9A through 9G?
I move to approve items 9A through 9G.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Can I have staff read them into record?
Yes, for the record, final consideration of the Fito Santos plat.
Final consideration of the replat of Eastern Division Block 1631A West 69.8 feet of lots 2 and 3, and to Eastern Division Block 1631A Lot 2A. Final consideration of the plat of ND Achar Industrial Park Phase 4. Final consideration of the plat of Monteverde Subdivision Phase 1. Final consideration of the plat of Windmill Subdivision Phase 1. Final consideration of the replat of Lot 1A, Block 722, Eastern Division, and the east 3 feet of Lot 4, Lots 5, 6, Lots 11, 12, Eastern Division, into Lot 1B, Heights LISD Annex Subdivision. Final consideration of the plat of AEP, Fincas Substation Subdivision, Lot 1, Block 1.
Thank you. Now we're now moving on to item 10A, consideration of model subdivision compliance, consideration of the model subdivision road compliance of Gator Point subdivision Phase 1, the intent is residential and commercial. Can I have a motion on this action, of this proposed item?
Motion to open, right?
Motion approved. So a motion to approve by Commissioner Garcia.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to director's comments.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. You might have heard that we've been doing town hall meetings. So I've been to District 3, District 7, District 5, and I think we're going to have some more coming soon. I just want to let the public know that this is the time to come out and let us know the issues that they have, the compliments they might have, if they have any. But, so we've done that. Apart from that, we had a fact-finding mission about a Del Mar overlay. Most of you might have heard about that. What we've done is the city of Laredo has hired Able City to do a fact-finding mission to see if the citizens live on the corridor on Del Mar Boulevard between Candlewood and Fenwick for a potential overlay. The overlay is kind of a backup safety issue, not safety, but in terms of somebody coming in and trying to rezone to something other than the residential or RO, residential office, that this overlay would protect it and keep the integrity of what we have there, right? So it was presented, we had all types of comments, okay? So, but Able City took those comments and they're gonna do a report. Once we receive the report, we're gonna ask the schedule so that they come here and present their findings to you all. That way you can hear it and then we would take it to council with any comments you have. So that's coming up. An item that I'll be putting on the city council meeting will be in reference to AEP. And I've talked to Mr. Arce about this. Whenever a development is done, it needs to be charged by the land development. Charged meaning it has power to the streetlights. Because of the shortage of equipment, what's happened is AEP waits for a permit to be pulled, and then once they pull the permit, then they power the subdivision. That's not necessarily how the land development code reads. You're supposed to charge the development so that it can pass inspection, then it can go for final. It comes here for final and then gets recorded. So we're having an issue with having to take it to council to see, because we have safety issues and we have also the land development code that we have to follow. So we're taking it to council to see what's the direction council wants to take. Once I find out the direction, then I'll bring it back to you all, because anything we do with the land development code, I have to bring it back to you anyway. But I was asked by city management to put it on the agenda so that we could finalize how we want to do this, because it's going back and forth and we're not getting anywhere. So Mr. Arce is hoping we could do this through meetings and solve this before we go to council. So hopefully we can do that, and then we can bring it to your attention at the next meeting. But those are the two items that we have for this week.
Thank you, Mr. Navarro. There's no
Real quick
comments?
question.
Yes.
So you can come to us just for, before you present it, that we support something like that, because it'd be a lot easier? Or do you, before you actually go there, so there is support for it?
So if I go to the council, the council would like me to make changes to the land development code or something, I have to bring it through the process, and the process is to bring it here for your review and approval before it goes to council. So I'm trying to just get directive from them of what they want me to do. They might say don't do anything, or leave it the way it is, depending on the argument. They might say, no, let AEP worry about it, so. We'll wait and see, but we do want to take it to council for direction.
I think it's something important that I think we should support, because it's than everywhere else.
Oh, and one last thing, it's Luis Vasquez's birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
So where's the cake?
Y no trajiste pastel.
He wants it.
No pastel? No
I just want to make him blush.
Yo tengo I want to request
Yes.
something. I know in prior meetings, you told us about the Ruthenberg and.
Char Ruthinger?
Char Ruthenberg.
Yeah.
And the plans that were going on, do we have something certain with them?
So, the RMA,
TxDOT.
not the RMA,
MPO?
MPO approved the funding for it. And what I know right now is engineering is working on the transfer of the dedication of the land from the landowner to the city. So that's where they are with that. And I'm not sure where TxDOT is on that. We should be having a meeting the 17th of next month, and we'll have more information on where they are on that. But it is moving forward.
Okay.
Mr. I had a question for Mr. Navarro about this overlay on Delmar Boulevard and stuff. I read about it on Facebook, and, maybe Able City could contact the commission members, like, I live in that area, and I read about it on Facebook. I didn't know what was going on, and people are calling me and asking me, so they could just reach out to let us know when they're gonna, when those kind of meetings are coming up. It'd be
6 years ago.
I won't have to call you, hey, what's going on?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what happened was when Marte Martinez was the councilman, he had suggested this overlay. His thought process was that he wanted to try to protect the integrity of the homes that are there, and he wanted to kind of, his vision was maybe an antique shop or some kind of small business, whatever, but maintain the home look to the houses, right? Well, that's not necessarily possible unless there's an overlay that you put on there that protects from somebody doing something like that. So that was kind of the concept. And so when Marte Martinez left, the other council that came in, districts changed and everything. So Ruben Gutierrez and Vanessa Perez are now the city council representatives. And they wanted to do a study to see what the people in the area thought about this. It was just basically, let's explain it a little bit and see if they would like it. And if they do, we'd move forward. If they don't, then we wouldn't do anything. So that's what the contract was with Able City, was to go out there and do that. But there's different overlays that are out there. We have several. We have
Historic district, the airport noise district, a bunch of them.
we have a bunch of them. So this was one to try to kind of apply some security so that we could maintain a certain look to the area. So that's kind of what was being proposed. And so we did get good feedback. It wasn't like it was all negative. I mean, we just had some people that maybe didn't understand it, that kind of thing. But Able City was they left, and they're gonna come back with their comments. And that's what we'll bring to you. Thank you.
Okay, and if there's no other questions or comments from commission, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries, we're adjourned.
Against it.